Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's session. So today's Katakata session is going to be about ERP and Chamaka Wimalarathne, who is an expert in the this ERP. He will be conducting the session today. So Chamaka is a lead technical consultant for Pagero at Creative Software. And Chamaka, over to you. We can start the sessions today.
Hi guys, so if I give a quick introduction about myself, as you can say, I'm Chamaka Wimalarathne, working as a lead consultant for Pagero. And in the Pagero team, I play the role of ERP specialist, where I take care of the ERP with along with the team. So today's sessions would be alongside ERP and the things that ERP gives you. So basically, ERP gives you wings is the theme of our topic today. So let's go. So imagine you have a imagine you have your own organization. You have created something to be sell a software maybe. So you would need a set of things to run this operation, right? So you would need an inventory, order management, accounting team, sales team, marketing team. You know, this is the place most of the entrepreneurs gets lost because they don't have the proper monitoring system in their business. Then they need to rely on several people and their skills rather than having a proper process of running a business. Most of the business fail in this area, as I said, due mostly because of communication issues during departments. Because every department wants to perform to their fullest and they want to show their highest KPIs. And if they don't have a visibility towards each and every department of their about their KPIs, they can't grow according to a system. So ERP comes around this matter and fixes in a modern solution as a modern solution basically. Yeah. So ERP provides all of these various functions and integrates them into a single system. So ERP helps you to monitor your total business from a single point. And your peers can use the same software to provide you information, and the amount of information that should be visible according to the user will be filtered by the ERP system as well. So you will be having a data hub and you will present the exact data that person should see. And I'll show you how valuable is this centralized system is. So if you have a sales team, relation management team, and a product development team, you would give those KPIs, those information to your finance team. And after collecting their resources and their businesses and information, the finance team can create a loss profit reports and annual revenue reports. By that, they can benchmark where their business is and they can work on the areas according to the reports that they. So without an ERP, these data will be scattered around. Some will be in spreadsheets, some will be in separate systems, and you have to integrate everything, and it can take a lot of time. Since ERP has all the information in a single platter, you can generate the necessary information quickly and accurately. And another example is if you have a sales team, a CRM team, and a product development team, and if you give those information to the management team, they can accordingly check on the employee's performance and they can find out which areas we should be giving a higher weight to, which areas we should do in recruitment to, and also you can properly uh, check what are the areas that we can reward to our employees to increase employee satisfaction. Then after the employee satisfaction gets bigger and bigger, the company growth can also be affected by that. So companies growth, companies economy, and everything is dependent, and everything can be boosted up by a single system. And also, if you want to find out your position in the market, you would need the data as well. And after management team can gather those information from the single point, they can create a competitive analysis a win-loss record and a win-loss report, and benchmark their position accordingly. So these are the type of ERP vendors which are in the market. If I start from the left, we have IFS. IFS is usually dedicated to serving organizations with complex industries such as aerospace and defense, construction, engineering, engineering manufacturing, and telecommunication. In addition, IFS solution provides functionalities which are really critical for organizations like financial management, CRM, project management, and even the procurement and supply chain. So those are some areas that IFS really touch upon. And next up, we have the giant of the ERP, or we can say the market leader currently, which is SAP. SAP is quite different than other ERPs because there are several versions of SAP that caters according to the market. So SAP's best version or the most growth version is called as SAP S4 HANA ERP. And by design, this is one of the top ERPs in the world currently. And SAP has another selection of ERPs like Business One and Business by Design. And those are more caters around small businesses and medium businesses. For an example, Business One is the solution that looks for entry-level ERP users, like least amount of users are in the system. If you have like 100 or 150 users, it's better to have a Business One system rather than having an SAP HANA. And if we go to the next ERP type, which is Info, if we talk about Info, the first thing that comes around our mind is M3, because Info is mostly bonded with our apparel industry, especially companies like Brandix uses Info M3 for their main project purposes. And Info is also considered as a real good competitor when it comes to ERPs. And the next ERP might be not familiar for most of you guys because it's eZoot. It's an ERP created by Sri Lankans and won the NBQSA. I can't remember the exact year, but it won the NBQSA, and it's developed by a company called Enhancer. And it's used by several companies like Delmage uses eZoot for their operations. It's a good cloud ERP as well. And next, Oracle, the giant when it comes to ERP as well. As same as SAP, Oracle has a golden era as well. In 2022, Oracle released their Oracle Fusion, the cloud ERP, and it is an ERP with full capabilities and that makes perfect solutions for organizations. The final ERP in the picture is Acumatica. Acumatica is also owned by the same owners of IFS, which is Equity Partners. I think Acumatica was acquired by Equity in 2019, June. And Acumatica mostly focuses on medium and small businesses, while IFS is dealing with the larger businesses. But still, Acumatica is also a good competitor when it comes to ERP. And these are, if we talk about the backgrounds of the ERPs, but ERPs, as you can see, there are several ERPs and they should have a competition, right? So ERP has differentiated among others as well. For example, IFS uses a declarative model language called Marble. A declarative model language is basically a language where a programmer specify the goal and how should it be achieved. Usually, if we want to insert a record, we usually have to write how to insert the record and the whole process of it, right? Using SQL language. But in the IFS, you just have to call the API. So it basically defines the goal and also how to achieve the goal rather than only creating the goal. So that is a special language that IFS creates. IFS used for their development. While IFS do that, Info uses pure Java for their developments. And that is a way that they think it's better, and IFS thinks that Marble is better. So it's the way they think and they structure their ERP. And as I explained earlier, SAP uses several versions for medium scaled and large scale companies. But when it comes to IFS, they use a modular technology, modular version of it, where they have several modules like building blocks. And if a company wants these areas of ERP, for example, if I have a company that just needs finance and HR, I can just get the building block of finance and the building block of HR from IFS and implement it in my system. And I can just pay for that subscription. So that is another differentiator when it comes to two ERPs, while they are growth and how they conquer the market. So next up, uh, I'm just going through this quickly because this is not our main topic. So next up, how the ERPs are implemented. Most of the old ERPs were implemented on premises because of security reasons, and it was really costly because they have to pay for the servers and everything. But modern day ERPs mostly are in cloud. Sometimes the cloud is hosted by the ERP vendor. Sometimes the cloud is hosted by other companies like Nodelu, security companies like Nodelu, or just the free cloud. You can use it. But there are hybrid approaches as well. But I have never encountered a hybrid approach customers when it comes to ERP. But when it comes to using cloud, is more in affordable and up to date, and there are lots of advantages of using cloud as well. So in the modern era, most of the ERP vendors are using cloud rather than on premises because of that flexibility. So if we go to our main topic, how does ERP give you wings? As you saw, there are lots of ERP vendors, and to have such huge market, there should be a need for a software like that, right? So ERP focuses on several areas of your business to make it a better business. So if you take one area like data security, data has be, data has become a prized position for businesses because it is really critical of making decisions, and ERP can protect it basically because the total number of data is in a centralized location with better security rather than scattered around. And the fact that all the data is in one place rather than spread across the multiple systems with varying security levels, it has a single security level with increased level of protection. So it is more secured and easy to access for the users. So data security is a high priority when it comes to a business, and ERP provides it. And with a cloud ERP system, your information is typically distributed across multiple remote servers to establish redundancies and failure protections. So it's adding another layer of security. So having an ERP secures your data basically. Next up, if we take about centralized data, much of the value of the ERP can be traced back to the fact that information from different departments, as I said before, information from different departments have been centralized in a central system. Without such system, data would be scattered, as I explained, across the organization. So if it's not centralized, if you want to use that data, you have to gather it all over the place, right? So you have to get all the data from several areas. That would take too much money and time. So basically, ERP can put the same, perspective into centralized system that can reduce the cost as well as the man hours of getting some data or information, basically. Next up is compliance, which is most important for European and US countries. Having accurate and up-to-date records, which are easy to find, can really help if you want to reduce the work required to comply with any regulations. So there are several regulations in the world like GDPR, ISO. In order to comply to those compliances, you need to keep your data intact. ERP keeps the data intact, making you easy to keep it comply with the regulations. So that's basically it. This makes you much more auditable as well because the information an auditor might be, will be really happy about auditing your company because it's easy to find the information. So you can be more less stress when it comes to auditing and compliances. And let's talk about increasing productivity. Sorry. Increasing productivity. As I said before, there are several aspects like data security, centralizing, and compliances. From even reading about, listening about those stuff, you would recognize that it really results on low number of man hours to work in the system. That results on increasing productivity. So the less amount of time you have to spend on gathering the data, you can more focus on working on your production, working on your supply chain, working on your day-to-day work. That can increase the productivity. And when you can gather your total information and benchmark with your competitors, you can focus on yourself as well. So ERP basically increases productivity by doing several things. So it's a booster. Next up is the visibility. Visibility is another one of the broad fundamental benefits of ERP. Visibility into the status of processes and managed by other teams ultimately helps all the teams and individuals to contribute to their job better. If you can see what is your financial forecasting while you are doing the production, you know that what the amount of commitment that you do towards your work is getting rewarded, and that boosts your morale as well. And even the auditing teams can see the information and uh, decide on the next business approach, the next business plan, or if there are any processes that lagging situations that we need to focus on. Those can be focused using these kind of situations. So providing visibility throughout the ERP to the scope that we should give the user provides a better business. Then scalability. As you know, if you have a cloud ERP and if your business is growing day by day, and if you want to even increase the size of your ERP, it's just a matter of adding an extra resource because it's just cloud. You can read like a jiffy. So that is another benefit of the ERP. If you have a bookkeeping software, you cannot do that. You have to buy expensive hardware, you have to buy other stuff, you have to buy extra licensing. But when it comes to ERP, if you want to increase the scale, it's easier than a normal legacy system, or basically better than a spreadsheet. And there are lots of things to talk about, but the most important thing with cloud ERPs, in my opinion, is the mobility. Since before we had laptops, we had desktops, and it was a real hassle because we cannot carry our machines where we want to go. Then the laptop came, and then the tablets, then the mobile phones, and so and so. But even though it happened, most of the softwares didn't evolve up to the level where it is mobile and easy to use, right? For example, think you are a storekeeper and you want to check the inventory physically and in the data at the same time. If you have a laptop, you have to carry it all the time, right? But most in cloud ERPs, they use the browser, the basic browser, mostly Google Chrome. So basically, you can just open the website using your mobile phone and do that auditing while you're standing in front of the stock. So it's easy to do as well. So mobility is one of the biggest factors that came up to the play. Basically the reason the cloud ERP was invented or created. It was not invented; it was created. So that is another benefit that ERP gives you. So there are other things like cost saving, reporting. You can analyze the data. Since data is always centralized, you can report it. Since the man hours are less, you can save your cost. And when your production is high, when your employees are happy, what happens next? The customer service gets better and better and better, resulting customers being happy and the business growing in a win-win situation. So these are some of the ways that ERP can give you and your business wings and improve your businesses. And the next step, sometimes having just an ERP is not enough. For an example, imagine that you have SAP HANA and I have IFS, and we need to work together, and we have to exchange information. And if the information is really sensitive, sending through mail is not the safest way, right? So there are some softwares that we use to do those kind of situations, which we call as ERP integrations. Pagero is a great example for it. Pagero ensures the most important aspects of ERP, which is the data security. When you know, basically it replaces spreadsheets and other documents sitting on employee's desktop and send it through a mail to another machine. It just sends through a more secure protocol from ERP to ERP to do the ERP communication. So that is a great example of ERP integration. And sometimes the ERP level of reporting is not enough for the users. They need to see more bar charts. They need to see more live data changes. So they go take an approach to take some actions and create another software, right? But when it comes to ERPs, you don't have to create another software for that. There are integrations for that as well. Power BI is a good example for that. So Power BI is a powerful BI tool that analyzes information and analyzes data and provides information in graphs, basically. So ERP and BI integration boost organizations' agility by providing live data and proper reporting in instance. So it's another great integration that comes with ERP. So basically, ERP integrators are like jetpacks for ERPs. It just boosts the ERP's value. So next up, these are some testimonies of truth of several ERP users and their experience with ERP, especially Akbar Brothers, one of the leading companies in Sri Lanka, uses IFS and their business is growing day by day. There are some testimonies from SAP and Acumatic as well. So I hope you got an idea about the value of the ERP and how does an ERP impact your business. And I would like to ask you if you have any questions regarding this session.
Okay. Since there are no questions, Chamaka, I think we can wind up this session. Thank you so much for your time and for explaining what ERP is today. And I hope everyone else also was able to gather some knowledge out of this session today. So yeah, thank you everyone for your time, and thank you very much again, Chamaka, for conducting this session for all our creatives and external parties.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone.